Welcome to TimSold Talks. Join us as we dive into all things real estate, talk about business, food, cars, and much more with industry experts. Dream it, believe it, achieve it. Welcome back to another episode of TimSold Talks. Very honored to have Coach Henry Neum here from the Gators join us. Welcome very much, Coach. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Much appreciated. My first podcast.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay. Excited.
Pumped up, yeah.
All right. Well, keeping in tradition, shout out to our new sponsors for the show. We have these gourmet popcorns from Eatable. We have two different flavors to try. Which one would you like to try first?
Peach Bellini.
Peach Bellini?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's one of the kids' favorites too. So a little bit about Eatable. They're a homegrown success story here in Canada. Developed over the pandemic and have made quite a name for themselves. They're over in I think 300 plus locations in the U.S. And one of their claim to fame is they were in the goodie bags at the Oscars recently. So
nice.
Yeah, and with this new partnership that they have with Disney as well, you'll see here, this special for the month, pumpkin spice caramel popcorn. A little bag for you to take home later. And here, try some of the popcorn. See what you think.
I'm a snacker,
Yeah.
so I can eat this bag in like 5 minutes. Any chips, any popcorn, I'm always downing the bag.
Oh, real sweet.
Good.
I really like it. You like the flavor? So they're like Baskin Robbins. They got over how many flavors they got. I think the three.
It doesn't really taste like Peach Bellini though.
It's like a sweet little peach. I do taste the peach, but believe me, I haven't really had those drinks before.
Yeah.
But it's a really sweet treat. So
Right.
if you guys would like, there's a link below, and go check them out and use that TimSold discount to get your orders in. So. But back to Coach. So thank you very much for coming. And for those that don't know you, can you do a brief introduction to yourself and what are you currently doing?
Yeah, so I'm one of the coaches for Markham Gators. Started coaching in 2020 at a weird time.
2020, right? Okay.
I started right before the pandemic hit.
Right before,
literally
okay.
2-3 weeks right before everything got shut down. Yeah. So I did my first practice.
Yeah.
And then during practice, that's when I got the notification on my phone. It was like NBA canceled. NBA is suspended.
Everything's closing down. The world's
and then
shutting down. Yeah.
I'm like, oh shoot.
What are we doing?
I'm like, what's gonna happen now? And then once practice is done, I get home, get a text message, season's canceled.
Oh.
And I was like, I just started coaching.
You just started. You were like
2
so
weeks ago.
pumped up.
Yeah.
Right?
So during that blackout, I guess, I didn't really do much coaching. But once summer hit, we were outdoors and everything.
Yeah.
We kind of picked it up. That's when I got back onto the field, doing a lot more coaching, my training part, I guess. Just did private training, personal training at local parks because we had no gyms, obviously.
Yeah, everything was locked. Even gyms were. Parks were kind of tapered off for a little bit, right?
Yeah, they took down the nets. They taped off the meshes.
Oh man!
But we found a couple of gyms.
Yeah.
So we got right back into it.
Yeah.
And then throughout the summer of 2020, that's when I started actually getting my foot into coaching.
Okay.
And then when fall season came around, everything started open back up slowly.
Yep.
And then that's when I had my first tryouts. So my first season was back in 2020.
2020, yeah.
And then my first official season with Gators started off in fall.
Okay.
Did my tryouts for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had quite a turbulent start to it.
Yeah. Rocky start.
Rocky start.
Rocky.
So what grades were you coaching at that time?
So when I first started, I had the grade threes.
Grade threes.
They were young. They're very young.
Okay.
U9s, I would say.
U9, yeah.
U9s.
Okay.
And then it was a mix because back then there was no U9 team.
Yeah.
They started off at U10.
Okay.
So it was a U9, U10 mix. But most of them were U9s. I maybe had 2 or 3 grade 4s there.
Yeah.
But most of them were grade 3s.
Okay. All right. So it's a mixed team.
Yeah.
How was turnout though? Because that was quite a
crazy
time, right?
It was very overwhelming because it was my first year as a coach.
Yeah.
And it was so overwhelming. We had 60, 70 kids right after right after COVID.
Wow. Okay.
The gym was filled, and it wasn't a high school gym.
Okay.
I remember it was a small private gym in a church.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
it was so small, it was so
Yeah.
packed. And then it was during COVID too, so I was kind of worried too.
Yeah.
But then everything worked out fine. Like I got over it, I got comfortable.
Yeah.
And then little kids, like they're
Yeah,
short,
yeah,
like
great
you can't be
little
scared of them,
actor.
you can't be nervous with them. So it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's that? How did that team do that first season? And how did
First,
Yeah.
we were great.
Yeah?
Like we came out smoking. Like my first 7 games, we all won.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And then once it got to Christmas, we kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But that team that I had, like right off the bat, it was a very strong team. I was surprised. I was like,
wow.
I was like, oh shoot, this is a very strong team. I gotta lock in. I gotta
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure these kids are getting their
Development.
Yeah.
And yeah. And how often were you guys practicing then?
still two times a week.
2 times a week?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because the permit's allowed for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think we had school permits at the time. I think we had private facilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember like you weren't even allowed to go to school then, right? Like
I don't think you were.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a crazy.
I was in private facilities.
Can't believe that's like 4 years ago, right? Or yeah.
4.5 ish.
4.5,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so great success with that. So, was the league still on then at that time, like that season?
I think
The
it was just
OBL
Hoop
or-
City.
Okay,
I remember
just
doing Hoop City. We didn't play too many games. It was like a full season. It was from September to what was it? April, I think.
Yeah.
And then we only play like 10 games,
Okay.
not including the provincials.
Yeah.
But we had 10 games, and then we had our last 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, man, quite a success. I think you guys won.
So it was kind of a slow season.
Okay,
But I
slow
think
season.
it was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
as a first year, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. So, okay, after that was year 1. So, what did you build on in year 2, and how where are
Year
you
2,
now right now? Yeah.
So year 2, I stayed with the U10, so I was still with the same age group.
Okay.
Same story. It was a
Yeah.
pretty strong team. We were actually D1.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were a
Okay.
D1 team.
All right.
It was the same story as the first year.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities,
Lot of
a lot
opportunities,
of
yeah.
action. A little overwhelming again because again it's a D1 team.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm still a new coach. 'Cause during my first year, it wasn't a full experience season. Like I didn't get the full experience of having all 16 games,
Okay.
tournaments, team nights, and all that.
Yeah.
But once I got to that second year, it was like, okay, I have a full season. I had my practices, I had team nights. I was able to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Right. We had the full 16 game season, tournaments we can attend, all that.
Yeah.
So I would say my second year would be my official first year, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because I had the full experience, I had the full ride. I had my first year seeing how everything actually was.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing was canceled. None of that.
Yep. Yeah. I think that time everything was opening up again, and you didn't. Did you have to coach with the mask on then at that point, or play with the mask?
During my first year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. During
How-
the second year, it was optional. Yeah.
It's kind of silly, yeah. Like
Yeah.
when
Poor
you think-
kids, like they're
Yeah,
just like
they were still
huffing and
playing with the
puffing,
mask,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and it's already like
Yeah.
quite strenuous already without the mask, like
And we-
normally, right?
And we had private facilities, so like they would check in on us, making sure we had the masks on. So it was kind of a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kids are like, I can't breathe. Like it's very hard.
Yeah.
And they're young too.
little kids, right? Yeah. So no, but
But
kudos.
I understand. Like we didn't know anything at that time.
Yeah.
Like COVID was a thing still.
Yep. Yeah. So it's so quite a challenging experience, but obviously very successful for yourself. And so where are you currently now? So what does the team look like, or what?
So I started off in U9, and every year I went up with the same kids, same group.
Okay.
So I started off in U9. Right now I'm U13, so grade 7s.
Yep.
Couple of players that I've had since the get go.
Yep.
But
Still area.
yeah, a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Some old faces too. So it's a little mix of both.
Good. Yeah, I guess you're always like building a new team to build for
Yeah,
the
for sure.
future, right? So okay. And what are the for the audiences listening, what's the difference between a U9 team and a grade 3 team and a grade 7 team? Like what's
So the young ones,
Yeah.
the best way to put it is that you can shape them into how you want them to play.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything about basketball. Their mind is very fragile.
Yeah.
So when you tell them something, they take it literal.
Okay.
Like if you tell them to play off ball,
Yeah.
they're not gonna touch the ball at all because they don't know what off ball means. So you gotta kind of cater to them
Yeah.
and explain to them off ball means you still have the ball in your hands, but
Yes.
you're doing more of cutting, backdoors, off ball screens, that type of stuff. Not
okay.
just standing in the corner
Yeah.
without the ball in your hand. So when you coach the younger ones, you gotta like explain everything
Yeah.
and detail everything so they understand. Grade 7, they understand, they know, they don't take everything too literal.
Yeah.
So if you tell them to play off ball, they'll know what that means. So you
Okay.
don't really need to explain it too much. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it comes with maturity and like
Yeah.
decision making on the kids' part,
'Cause
right?
U9s, they're starting off, right? They don't. I don't think they have too much knowledge about basketball.
Yeah.
So you could kind of shape them to what you want them to know and how to explain stuff to them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember watching my son play when he was that age, and there was like kind of like little ducklings, right? Like you had the ball, and like a group of them would all kind of follow the ball and get passed around, and it's very cute. But
They don't know anything about spacing, none of that. It's just, it's like headless chickens running around sometimes.
Yeah. Frustrating, but also it's part of the game, right?
But I think that's the best way to learn.
Right? Yeah.
Like you throw them in the fire, I think they learn best from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And what about yourself? Like, how do you think you've changed, like, during the 4 years or 4.5 years you've been coaching?
So when I first started coaching, like to be honest, coaching has never crossed my mind.
Okay.
Like before I started coaching, it never crossed my mind because I didn't know how I would be with kids.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like kids that much. I thought kids were kind of a lot.
Yeah.
A little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was like, why not just take a shot? I love basketball. I want to give back to the community, so why not take a shot?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's when I found Gators, did my thing,
Yeah.
and then over the years, I think these kids taught me a lot. They teach me a lot. They've taught me how to handle tough situations. They showed me how to enjoy working with kids because kids they're innocent, right? They're innocent. They're well behaved.
Yeah.
And then it took my chance. I took my jump, and then we are here now. And I love working with kids. Like every time it's practice, I'm like, I can't wait for practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it matured me as well.
Yeah.
Because I started coaching when I was young. I was 20 when I started coaching. So I was pretty young.
Yeah.
So I was still in that stage as I was still maturing.
Yeah.
And then once these kids got into my life, like I've met over 100, not even 100, maybe like 300 kids.
Yeah.
Over the past like 5 years, 6
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
4 or 5 years. They've taught me a lot. They've matured me. They showed me how it is to like live life.
Yeah.
Right. Take responsibility.
Yeah.
Be accountable. So yeah, I think that's something that built me as a character.
And watching, I'd say, watching them grow, watching them develop, you get a sense of like pride and joy and seeing their development, improvement, right? The journey there. So yeah,
no, like seeing these like I said, some of these kids I've known since grade 3/4.
Yeah.
Seeing them grow up to who they are now.
Yeah.
It's heartwarming. It's nice. It's nice because like. I built this player. He's been under my wing for 4 years. Like, it's so nice to see how he can make a layup now. Because back then he couldn't hit rim, right? So it's nice. It's nice.
Okay. Yeah. And you said you used to play. So how competitive did you used to play, and how?
So I think my most competitive part will probably be elementary school.
Okay.
So grade 3 all the way to grade 8. That's when I played the most.
Okay.
And then when it hits high school, I tried out new sports. So I tried out volleyball. So I think one of my friends, he wanted to do volleyball, but he didn't want to do it by himself.
Okay.
So he's like, yo, come do volleyball with me. Come do volleyball. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then he convinced me, so I went and I did it.
Yeah. You have fun?
And then I had fun. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then my high school coach in grade 9, my freshman year, she came up to me and was like, is it your first time playing?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, my first time.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't want to play. And then she was like, do you play like any other sports? I'm like, I do basketball, but I don't know if I'm going to do basketball this year. And then I did the trial for basketball because that time I think they had volleyball and basketball at the same time.
Yeah.
Same season. So I couldn't do both. So I had to sit down with my high school coach, my high school volleyball coach. And she was like, listen, I think you're more talented in volleyball than basketball. And I thought she was just gaslighting me. So I'm like, stop saying that.
Yeah.
She was like, no, I really think you could try. You should try volleyball. I think you're really talented. I think you have a lot of potential.
Okay.
As a first year player,
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of potential. And then so I was like, you know what? Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Like, I'll take a break from basketball 1 year.
Yeah.
And then I did volleyball for
volleyball?
for the grade 9 year.
Okay.
And then I loved it.
Yeah.
And then the season went okay. We didn't really go too far. But I grew a love for volleyball. But basketball would still be at heart for me.
Yeah.
Like no matter what sport I play, no matter what sport I watch,
Yeah.
basketball is that one sport that will always hold me to to my heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did volleyball grade 9.
Okay.
And then grade 10 hit.
Yeah.
Volleyball again. I didn't even try for basketball. Grade 11.
Okay.
Volleyball. Grade 12 volleyball. And then when I did my 5th year, volleyball again.
Okay.
So all 5 years I did volleyball.
5 years of volleyball, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
And do you still play volleyball now?
I haven't touched a volleyball since grade 12. I haven't touched one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the training in volleyball is amazing too, right? Like it's
It's
all
intense.
the jumping and the plyometrics
Yeah.
applied exactly for basketball too. So
Yeah.
it's very
It's very
transferable.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the only reason I was good is I could jump out the gym.
Yeah.
Like when I was, if there were clips of me in high school, I was jumping out the gym.
Oh, man.
Couldn't dunk,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was jumping out the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least grabbing the rim or like on the.
I could grab the rim with ease. It's just that the
Yeah, yeah.
the basketball was too big.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I couldn't grip it or hold it. Yeah.
So were you a spike or what position?
I was
you
weak
played?
side.
Weak side.
I'm a lefty,
Okay.
so I played the weak side.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So good coverage on that side. Yeah.
No, but I think volleyball was a great sport. Like I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, I started playing volleyball too when I was younger. I didn't play basketball till grade 9 actually, so it's kind of a flipped reverse story.
Yeah.
So when I first started shooting, it's kind of like setting the ball. It's like that's how I shot.
Yeah, but during my elementary school years, like that's when I took basketball very seriously. Like
okay.
I started off in grade 4.
Yeah.
Didn't play that much. Was on the bench a little bit. Grade
Yeah.
4, 5.
Yeah.
Minutes started going up for the high school for the elementary school team.
Okay.
And then grade 6, 7, 8 was when it got very competitive for
Very
me.
competitive. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think my grade 6 year was my most successful because I met so many friends
Yeah.
just by playing
Yeah.
from other schools. I learned a lot because my grade 6 coach, he was amazing. I will never forget him. Mr. Searam,
Give him a shout out. Yeah.
give him a shout. If you're listening to this, you taught me a lot. Yeah, like he was a great coach.
Yeah.
Like he played a big part in my elementary school days. Like he would always be very supportive. No matter what mistake I did, he would always hold my head up, and he was
Good mentor,
yeah.
right? A guide or a coach, right? A good
Yeah.
coach, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like what kind of maybe sparked the coaching fire inside you,
Yeah.
or
Like,
maybe
even to
planted a
this day.
seed or something. Yeah.
Yeah, to this day, like even when I'm coaching with the kids, I always have him in the back of my head.
Yeah,
He was great. Even though I had him for that 1 year,
Yeah.
that 1 year made a big difference.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone like that's a transformational figure in your life, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
He made me love basketball. Like I liked basketball at the time, but when grade
Yeah.
6 hit, he made me love it.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because that's when it hit.
and I'm guessing you're doing the same thing for the kids right now too. Like some of them may be listening and they'll be like, yeah, Coach Henry changed my life. So
Try to make them love basketball too. Yeah, that's the goal.
yeah. Okay. So when you're on and off the court, like obviously you hold yourself accountable for your actions. Like what other kind of values do you try and instill in the kids, and like what kind of lessons are you trying to teach them as well?
So outside of basketball, I try to focus a lot on life skills because basketball, making the NBA, it's not the goal.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. Playing overseas, it's not the goal. It's the bonus.
Yeah.
Right. So what I try to get my kids to do is they got to learn how to live. They learn how to live off the court
Yep.
because everything we do on the basketball court, it's gonna translate eventually into the real world. It's like
Life skills. Yeah.
life skills. Yeah, it's like don't give up. Like you have a bad game, you lose, don't give up. Because if you have a bad day at your job or bad day at school, you're not gonna give up. You're not gonna drop out. You're not gonna quit.
Yeah.
Right. So I get the team, the kids to fight through everything. It's like no matter how bad you feel about yourself,
Yeah.
no matter what you're going through, just go through it
Yeah.
because it's gonna get better. It's not always gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Like I even tell them, like your parents probably come home from work and they had a bad day. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll tell them don't give up. Right. I tell them be respectful.
Yeah.
Be respectful because you don't know who you're talking to. Every time we travel, we're like always make sure you're behaved because you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
Right. It could be a high school coach that's watching your game.
Yeah.
If you lash out, what do you think he's gonna do? He's just gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Right. So I tell the kids always behave your best because you never know who's in the room, you never know who you're talking to, you never know who's shaking your hand.
Yeah.
Plus, you never know who you're playing against. Like, I think in January we went down to Michigan.
Yeah.
We played a team. We didn't know who the team was. We thought it was a regular team out of Michigan just playing.
Yeah.
So they play, and then some guy walks up. He goes, "Where are you guys from?" I was like, "Oh, we're from Toronto."
Yeah.
He was like, "We're in Toronto," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "I used to live in Toronto." Like, where? Like Scarborough, Richmond Hill, Markham. Like,
Yeah,
where? I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, we're from Markham."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm Mo Pete, Morris Peterson.
Oh.
He used to play for the Raptors."
Oh yeah.
And we were playing against this kid.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yo, your kids are behaved. They're disciplined.
Yeah.
They know how to play basketball.
Wow.
What you guys have that we don't is discipline." And I was like, I didn't recognize him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, he wasn't during my
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
right? I was
more my
after.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm Mo Pete.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, your kids are disciplined. They listen really well. And then I was like to the kids, I was like, look, you just played against Mo Pete's son.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't know who was watching.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys played your best game.
Yeah.
You guys were disciplined, focused, working hard. And it got recognized.
Recognized. Yeah.
So I always use that as an example to the kids. Like, you never know who's watching. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you always make sure, like, you're on your game, you're on your
game.
toes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never, it's so true. It's even in life too, right? Like, you don't know who you're going to be meeting, that's shaking the hand. You're in a meeting, you're meeting someone at the store, meeting someone in the line or whatever. It's like, you always don't know, right?
Yeah.
So
that's why you always be like, just have mutual respect. No matter who you cross in paths with, always have mutual respect.
Yeah.
And be responsible for your actions. Because everything you do, you're going to be accountable for it.
Yep.
And I always tell them, whatever you do, it's going to be on you.
Yep. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Great advice for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, during, the ups and downs of the season and, development, what kind of strategies do you use to keep the kids kind of motivated and engaged? Like, how do you keep on encouraging them, or what's your, go-to?
So this one was actually a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, there are different ways to motivate kids. Is that I always try to beat it into them, saying, you had this feeling before. You've lost a really tough game.
Yeah.
You had this feeling before. It's not the best feeling, but I always tell them to take those losses, but turn them into lessons instead of losses.
Yeah.
Right? So I want them to use their past, their mistakes, their losses, and just fuel them with fire. That's what I get, because sports, it's a pretty scrappy industry, right? Because if you lose, you play them again, they're not gonna go easy on you.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna beat you
Even
by
hard.
30, by 40, by 50 this time.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm always tell the kids, don't feel sorry for yourselves. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. If you don't want to have this feeling again, work harder.
Yeah.
Get into the gym. Work twice as hard as the other team you're playing. Work twice as hard as your teammate. Right? Because if you don't want this feeling again, work harder.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. Tell them if you don't want to keep having this letdown, just go out there and just work in silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just don't take it as a loss. Take it as a lesson. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wins and losses are a part of life. Anyone, even the greatest players, right? Like, they all have wins and losses, right? So it's what you do after the loss. That's what really defines, I guess, the character and the spirit, right? So
I'm even going through this model with my kids. I'm like, is it okay to be a bad person? And some players take it differently, but the way I look at it is that it's okay to outwork someone else. It's okay to beat this team by 40. It's okay to slaughter this team. It's okay to be selfish because you want to win.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I tell my kids, like, it's okay to be a bad person sometimes, as long as you know the difference between a confident person and a cocky person is. Like, you want to win.
Yeah.
So if you want to win, outwork the next kid. It's okay to outwork the next kid. It's okay to take another kid's spot on a team because you worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Right? It's for you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I tell my kids, it's okay to be a bad person sometimes. Like, if you want to outwork someone, do it. No one's stopping you. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my kids.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a bad person. It's just like, you're outworking your opponent, you're outworking your teammates, you're outworking everybody.
Yeah.
So you deserve the position, right? Or the results, right?
Yeah.
of
Like,
your hard
don't
work.
worry about what other people say. Just do you. If people are talking about how you're playing basketball too much, you want to get better, forget about them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you want to do you want to get better, you want to win.
Yeah.
Right?
And
so if people talk down on you, they look at you like certain ways, like, I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Don't focus about what other people think.
And most of the time when they're talking about you, it's because they're kind of jealous, or they
Exactly.
hate on it, or like they don't,
Yeah, for sure.
They're trying to put you down if you're trying to work hard, right? So
Yeah.
it's not just basketball. That's life in general,
life,
right?
yeah.
So get used to it and get used to dealing with the pressure, and making the right choices for yourself is a good guiding principle, I believe. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Even like outside of life, like if you're doing a group job interview, right? There's 4 guys in the room. It's like there's one job available.
Yep.
You're going for yourself.
Yep.
Like, don't feel sorry for those guys. Just go get yours.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I tell my kids on the court too. Yeah,
So-
because everything transfers on into the real world.
Yep. Yeah. Great advice. Okay. So during the 3-4 years or 4.5 years that you've been coaching, what are some of the biggest challenges you would describe as you faced as a coach?
I think the biggest challenge is
Yeah.
that sometimes I can't be a coach. I got to be a mentor to these kids. Because sometimes these kids go through rough patches sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I gotta tell myself, okay, we're not a coach. Let's be a mentor for the kids.
Okay.
Right. So connecting with the kids, especially at a young age, it's hard sometimes because these kids, they don't know how to connect with you yet. They don't know how to control their feelings, I guess.
Yeah.
So sometimes they lash out. Sometimes they get upset. Sometimes they have emotions that they just can't control.
Yeah.
So trying to get through that rough patch with them, with their emotions, that will probably be one of the hardest parts. But after the years of coaching,
Yeah.
it got a lot better.
Okay.
Because again, like I said, some of these kids have been with me for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more comfortable with me. But when it's a new player who's kind of not comfortable with me yet, I always try to connect with them right off the bat. When I first meet them, it's not even about basketball. It's just about it's me and you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be taking care of you for the next year, no matter if you're gonna be with me in the long run or the short run.
Yeah.
You're under my wing. I'm gonna take you under myself as a mentor and a coach. So a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're spending a lot of time with them, and I guess a lot of influential kind of like mentorship that you're providing to them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess with teenagers too, as their preteens are developing and dealing with their
Yeah, I'm not that stage yet, but I think in a couple of years I'll be
Yeah.
there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in what we kind of talked about this already, but how players carry lessons from basketball into their lives. What advice would you give to some of the younger players, or that you're currently coaching or aspiring to be, the high level NBA player? What kind of advice would you give them?
Any opportunity that you get, always tell them give it a try because you'll never know if you'll like it or not. Because a lot of these players are like, I'm not gonna like it. I don't like it. I was like, how would you know? Like you never tried it.
Yeah.
Right. Give it a try. You never know if you liked it. Like me, I didn't think I would. Like I said, coaching never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Never once in my life have I ever thought about working with kids.
Yeah.
But I gave it a try. Look where I am now. I love it. It's my passion.
Yeah.
Like I would do anything.
It's a full-time gig now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell the kids, give it a try.
Just give it a try
You
first,
just never
right?
know.
Yeah. You never
Right?
know. Okay.
Even in life, you give something a try, you'll never know where it'll take you. You might like it. If you don't like it, what's the worst that can happen? At least you gave it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave it your best shot, and you found out that you didn't like it, and you focus your energy on something else, right?
Yeah. And nowadays you get so many opportunities.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss out on it. Like especially in the sports world, the rep world, basketball world.
Yeah.
You have so many opportunities now. There's so many chances that you can take.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, go for it and give it a try. And worst is, you decide you don't like it, and then you do something else. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't like it, try something else. Right?
Yeah. So
I think it builds character too.
Yeah.
It'll build a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Like, it'll change you. It'll mature you. The way you see certain things. Like for me, I've seen the world very differently ever since I started coaching.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I think my eyes just expanded.
Yeah.
My whole world expanded. Because before I used to just see me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Now I see everybody.
yeah.
Like the kids' parents,
Connections, yeah.
sports teams, like the community, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which is big, I know, for the Gators, right? Like the
Yeah.
Gators community, the family aspect. I think that's one of the best things that they do better than some of the other clubs out there is engaging not just the basketball aspect, but the kids and their families, and building camaraderie between them.
Yeah. The big word we use is family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell my team, my kids, we're not a team. We're a family.
Yeah.
Like again, whether you're here for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we're the family. As long as you're wearing this Gators jersey,
Yeah.
you're always gonna be family. We're not a team. Treat each other as family.
Yeah.
Like move together, do everything together. If you're gonna have lunch together, eat together.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hang out together. I don't like these small groups.
Yeah, there's no point breaking.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry wise too, it's not
Exactly.
great. It's in translate to court kind of like
Yeah.
chemistry as well. So yeah, no, that's great. Great motivation or great advice for them. So okay. As we start to wrap up, there's always two questions we ask our guests for fun. What's the one dream feature you'd like? What's the one feature you'd like to find in your dream house when the time comes?
I'm pretty sure every coach is at a basketball court, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go with that. I think a trophy room.
Trophy room?
Trophy room, but
Yeah.
not for my medals
Yeah.
and my trophies.
Yeah.
For my shoes.
For your shoes?
For my shoes. For those who know me, I'm a big sneakerhead.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
huge sneaker guy.
Yeah. What's some of your prized pairs?
Oh, I don't have them anymore.
Okay.
Back in my high school days, I was a big collector.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, I stopped.
Oh.
And then when
okay.
COVID kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
It got brought back up.
Yeah.
But I think right now, I don't think I have too many crazy. I have a pair of Kobe's.
Okay. Yeah.
But my most expensive, my most valuable will probably be a Travis Scott collab.
Travis Scott collab?
Yeah, Travis Scott collab back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And how many pairs? Yeah. Do you still collect them, or
You still collect
them?
them. It's a problem. Yeah. Right now, I probably not too much. Maybe like 80, 90 pairs.
80, 90 pairs.
Yeah. Like back in high school was worse. It was like 150 plus.
Oh,
it was horrible. It was horrible. Our mom would get so annoyed with me.
Yeah, where do you put it all?
All around the house. My room, the basement, the main floor, the washroom. Like you find shoes everywhere in my house. Yeah. But now it's kind of controlled. It's all in my room.
Okay, so it's contained now. But I'm pretty sure I got a few warehouse listings I can send you. So
I think you need more than a warehouse.
Okay, so what's the one type of food you like to eat you would eat for the rest of your life?
Oh, hands down, pho.
Pho, yeah.
Hands down, no question about it. Pho,
yeah.
Hands down, yeah.
All right. Any particular restaurants in the area you'd like to give a shout out to, or
my mom's house?
Your mom's home cooking.
Home cooking.
Homemade.
No, but
yeah.
A couple of pho places. It shut down. There was one at Kennedy and Ellesmere.
Okay.
Shut down during COVID, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It was called Fun MD.
Fun MD.
Yeah, okay. That's the closest to home as I'll get.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't eat pho anywhere else except my mom.
Yeah. Don't want to betray the home cooking.
Yeah.
Secret recipe, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that pretty much wraps up this week's episodes of TimSold Talk. So thank you very much, Coach Henry, for joining us.
No worries.
It was a pleasure to hear your story, and you're doing amazing things out there for the kids in the community. So keep on doing that. And where can they find you if they want to come find you on social or where?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. It's gonna be my name, Henry name, and then underscore.
Okay. Yeah. We'll also put some links down below for people to find that. And if you enjoyed today's episodes and looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate, you know who to call, guys. Give us a review, give us a 5-star review, and listen to the wonderful guests that we have come on and giving great advice to everyone there. So remember, guys, dream it, believe it, achieve it. It's a beautiful day to sell homes. Thank you very much for listening. Hi, I'm Tim Kern, and I proudly lead the TimSold team. We're voted as one of the top 3 brokerages in Markham, and we will sell your house fast and for top dollar with the least amount of hassle, or we guarantee to buy it. Call us today and start packing.